get home, get arrested for this. But when the bodies mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 218 of Phired Up Sports. Check us out at phiredupsports.com. I'm Mike Leto. Joining me as always, Mark Ramos. What's going on, Mark?
Not much, man. Just trying to stay warm, get out of the snow, and we're getting warm weather, I think, coming up here. So we'll get rid of some snow. But
I don't know how people live in the cold. I guess it's nice that up here in the Northeast we experience kind of for the most part all four seasons. But if you're in I don't know, the Canada, how do they deal with the cold? I hate the cold. I don't get it.
Yeah, the seasons are the best. I don't mind the cold actually, but if it were cold, if it was like this all the time, no. It's
Yeah, I hate when I'm outside for 30 seconds and my hands hurt because I'm so cold. I just don't like it. I can't. I don't like the snow. It's very inconvenient.
yeah.
I don't know what your opinions on snow is, but I question you if you're over the age of 12 and you enjoy snow. I can't get behind snow. I'm out on snow.
Yeah, I think I mean, I was always the shoveler. I was always out there shoveling.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I like it less as I've gotten older, I think, for sure.
Definitely.
Especially now, we have a driveway and all that. So
And it sucks.
I gotta do the sidewalk in the driveway.
It's brutal. And then you're out there, you're freezing your ass off. You slip on ice. It's just a miserable experience.
Yeah, I actually, what was it, last year or the year before? I was up early. We got bad weather, snow. It got iced over, and I tried to go to the office that day.
Okay. Yep.
So I went down to the train station, and the steps I was early, right? So they hadn't been salted or anything like that, and I took a trip down the steps.
Not good.
Flat on my back, straight down.
It's not good at all.
Yeah, and then since that day, actually, I have not been back to work on a snow day. I work from home every snow day since I busted my ass.
It's a good business decision.
Yeah, but yeah, that wasn't good for the old tailbone.
No. No, I can definitely imagine that. All right, so we obviously weren't here last week. Had some scheduling conflicts. Obviously, I think you were. Where were you? You were in the press box that game, right? Or no, no. You had a show you went to. That's right.
Yeah,
I had a hockey game.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we were. So no show last week. So we missed talking about the dreadful Monday night loss to the Chargers.
Yes.
And then you know heading into the week against the Raiders, and everybody knows how bad the Raiders are. What could possibly go wrong? And listen, I should have been confident going into the Raiders game because the Eagles are much better, I think, than the Raiders. But I wasn't, and thankfully they took care of business.
Yeah, they needed that game they needed that game in that fashion in the worst way.
Yep.
Especially after that performance on Monday night against the Chargers. Even though we've talked a lot about a lot of the issues that the teams had, losing the turnover battle and things like that was not one of them, and they certainly did lose the turnover battle in that Monday night game. So, but they needed to come out and they needed to dominate the Raiders like they did. And they really haven't had like a dominating win like that all year, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, they really haven't. I was so like out on this game is that I didn't even watch it. Like we had the snow day obviously, so like in the morning I'm took my kids out in the snow and all that, and then we went
Mm.
ice skating for a little while. So like by the time I got back home, it was 24-0. I'm like, what's the point of even watching now? Like it's game over. So
Yeah,
so I didn't really watch much, if any, of it. But I obviously I think the backup offense had more yards than the entire Raiders offense the entire day, and they had like one drive.
yeah,
Like it was just pure domination.
yeah, it was, and yeah, I mean the defense I thought did. It was awesome to see. It was awesome to see BG come up with a couple sacks in that game. Uh,
Yep.
and just kind of like for the whole group, right? Like you see something, you see a club legend like that, come back out of retirement a couple weeks ago, and he gets some opportunities to get in there and make a play like that, whether it's the Raiders or not. It's still like a team bonding moment. You know what I mean? Galvanize the boys a little bit.
Yeah, and up until that point, you got nothing out of Brandon Graham so far.
Right.
Like nothing. He's been invisible.
Yeah. So it was that was good to see, and then like that again, like that's an opportunity really for guys to kind of rally around that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't. All I came away with in that game was like from the Eagles' perspective, of course, but all I could think about was like, God damn, Vegas is dreadful. Like they're
Yeah,
awful.
they're not good. They're
And
not good.
like that wasn't even they didn't even put up a fight like at any point in that game. Obviously, they got shut out, but um, you would expect a little bit more from a team that has a guy like Brock Bowers and um, just a little bit, maybe a smidge more. Not nothing crazy. They don't have anybody really throwing them the football, but um, yeah, I mean that was a rough game for them, and they've been through that a lot this the last quite a few seasons. So, but
Who's their quarterback now? Do you know Smith? Did he even play?
well,
Or is he
Kenny
hurt?
Pickett played.
That's who. Yep, Kenny Pickett
Yeah.
played.
Which I was just waiting for too, and that's like the negative. That's a Negladelphia
Yep.
thing. I was like, watch Kenny Pickett come in here, just start slinging it, and
I
and make
mean,
this.
it wouldn't have shocked me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, it's like, oh yeah, of course, why
You're
not?
right. Yeah, I mean that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so, but it was a good it was a good win for the group, and hopefully, like over the next couple weeks here, beat the Raiders. They got the Commanders coming up, who are very good. Maybe it's an opportunity to kind of get the ball rolling on this thing, and hopefully they do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, you need the wins now, right? It's obviously we're in the middle of December. You only got what 3 games left. Two of which against Washington. But like you're trying to. I mean, I think just a win puts the Cowboys away, right? Yeah, one win, and they win the division. But still, like you don't want to. It's always a bad feeling to like limp into the playoffs. Like you want to like convincingly get there.
Yeah, yeah. You want
So
to play. You really want things to kind of you look at just in general, um, like the Super Bowl seasons, both of them, where like heading into these weeks late in the year, this team was like really operating at like a high frequency. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Um, and I think at these games are critical in those in that sense. Like the most dangerous teams are the teams that are that are hot. You know, uh,
sure. Yeah,
and
'cause you don't want a repeat of 2023 where like you kind of limp in and you don't look great down the stretch, and then you scored 9 points in the first round against the Bucks. Like
yeah,
you need to play consistent good football down the stretch.
right, yeah, and it needs to like you need to like have your units have to look pretty sharp in those games, and you know So it's still kind of a work in progress. Last week against the Raiders was a step in the right direction, but it would be nice to see them do it again next week. Have a game like that, and but I think the thing that'll keep them in it down the stretch here and into the postseason is the fact that like the strength of this team this season is this defense, and and they have kept them they have allowed this offense to figure things out uh, throughout the season and really kind of feel their way through. Um, so it would be nice though if they could start putting up supports and at this stage of the year and support that group, support that defense and for their hard work on the other side of the football,
Yep.
So uh, that's important, So these games are important at this point of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and you're getting a banged up Commanders team, right? I think Mariota's playing from here on out for
Yeah,
them. So I mean, it's really just the time, just like the Raiders game was like, all right, you're playing against a shitty Raiders team, but like, hey, you go out, you take care of business. You got to take care of business against the Commanders.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. Um, and it's weird because like you get the Raiders, a really banged up Commanders teams, and then you have the Bills sandwiched in there too.
And they're still
And
fighting for a division.
yeah, so they're like that game very much means a lot to them.
Mm-hmm.
So and you're going on the road there, who
Yep.
knows? Like we were just talking about snow and things like that. Who
Yeah.
knows what it might look like up there?
It's
So
cold up there. Yep.
yeah, so that'll be a really good like playoff like game,
Mm-hmm.
playoff like test um, this late in the year. So um, you don't pick who you play, obviously, but I think it works out for the Eagles, and you know, in a pretty good way to kind of get ready for the postseason here.
Yeah. I guess this is something that I haven't really heard too many people talking about, but like, say you go out and you win this weekend against the Commanders. At that point, you'll clinch a division. You obviously can't win a bye or like at home field's not really on the line or anything. Do you against that Bills game? Do you put out, Hurts? Do you put out like, or do you bench kind of your main guys for 2 weeks? I mean, again, it's a lot of rust heading into a first round playoff matchup. So I don't know if you want to do that, but
Yeah,
I'm curious as to like how much rest they'll give them once they lock this thing up.
yeah, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I think for myself, it would be different if they were like really, really humming right now.
It's right. Yeah.
The fact that they really haven't been,
Yep.
I think it could be like kind of a, a game time decision kind of thing. See, let it kind of ride and see how things play out, and then you can pull guys out later. You know, but I saw a crazy stat about this past weekend. Something like the Eagles' um, second unit, offensive unit, um, they ended up with more total yards
Hmm.
than the first unit for the Raiders
Yep.
in
I
that
think the
game.
second unit only got like one drive, right? Like
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
and they
It
ended
was,
up with more
yeah.
total yards than
The Raiders are not good.
no.
Not good at all.
But that's like a different stratosphere of being not
It
good.
is.
Like, you
Yes.
know
Yes.
what I mean?
Especially when you have like Pete Carroll
Yeah,
and like you said, Bowers. You have the running back they drafted high. So it's. I don't know. I don't know there's a lot of issues in Vegas
yeah.
for
And
sure.
I think one of their issues has been like that defense can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
So that's a hard way to play. And then you know it puts a lot of pressure on them young guys. Even though I think you know the young back they have and Bowers, they're really good players. You know, um, still need a quarterback in the league. And
How hasn't the defensive lineman? I'm drawing a blank on his name for it. How hasn't he left yet?
Crosby, Max
Crosby.
Crosby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Max. Yeah. Max
I
Crosby.
don't know. He was yelling. Him and a teammate were yelling at each other. They showed during the game, And
He's gotta want to get out of there. I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, life in Vegas can't be that good, you know.
Well, outside of playing football is probably not bad.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like then like you consider all the pitfalls and the vices, you know,
True.
that can't be good. And then you're on a
Yeah.
losing football team, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
I that I feel like that would be a bad fit. It's probably like if you're like the Golden Knights and you're winning all, it's probably sick like to
Yeah.
play
Yep.
in Vegas, you know. But I don't
Although I
think
hear like
losing.
I've never been, but I hear like outside of Vegas, like once you leave the strip and all that, and all the vices that you talk about, I hear it's like really nice out there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been either. I've always heard that the sun's like a foot from your head.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Gets hot. It gets hot out there. Although right now I will take some heat. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I was just curious about the rest versus rust. I don't know if I do it 2 weeks before. Like, I think I play the Bills game and then maybe rest them. Week 18 against the
yeah,
Commanders. But
yeah, yeah. I don't see it being, if the Bills game goes sideways or
sure,
you
yeah,
know what I mean. Like, there's always an opportunity to just like be like, hey, we're not gonna, we're not playing for anything really.
yeah,
So, but I think I would at least want to see some reps there.
yep,
Uh,
yeah. Kind of use it as like a tune-up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then of course, eh, like anytime people talk about like the potential of getting injured or guys getting nicked up, it's like for the most part, a lot of guys are dealing with stuff all year long anyway.
And
You know?
and like it's football. It's a contact sport. You can't be like afraid of injuries 24/7. Like they happen. They can
Yeah,
happen at any point during any game, anytime.
yeah. Like that's what I mean. Like in a sport like baseball or something, it's like all right. I mean, like you play 162, so it's like you want to think long game, but like for football, I mean, it's a lot different. I think like with like you said, there's always the risk of someone getting hurt. So yeah, I don't spend a lot of time kind of like harping on that or kind of playing the what if game. If oh, if
Mhm.
they didn't play so and so, if a player were to get hurt or a key guy would get hurt, it's kind of like the Monday morning quarterback thing,
Yeah. Mhm.
and like you said, I mean, it's a contact sport. It's football. It's physical, and guys are hurt. Guys are already hurt. Guys are playing hurt.
Yep.
So,
Sure. Yep.
um, you know, I wouldn't worry too much. I personally don't worry too much about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm there with you. All we can do right now is wait and see. Like, honestly, right now, there's not really much to talk about with this team. We kind of know who they are, and it's what version you're gonna get, basically. Like, that's all we can really say right now.
Yeah,
So, with that being said, we could do our you wanna do our picks.
sure. Let's do them.
So we forgot to do them last week. Obviously, we didn't have a show. Usually, we'll like text each other off, off the pod and put them in. But we didn't. We forgot to do it. We both did. So so that was week 15. Then week 14, we did it. I was 2-3. You were 4-1, which brings our totals. I'm 40-30. You're 39-31. So
Well,
pretty solid. I mean, pretty solid for both of us. I feel like so
yeah,
far this season.
it's coming down to the wire. I'm a game back here.
It is. Yep. It absolutely is. So that means we're moving on to week 16. I guess I'll start it off if you
Okay,
feel
yeah,
better.
good.
So I got the Bucks and the Panthers. Also, before I start this, I feel like I've been saying this last handful of weeks. I feel like this was a tough week because like now that there's teams that are like officially eliminated and can't make the play, like those games are always weird to like pick because you don't know what version you're gonna get. You don't know if players gonna be checked out. Like who knows
Right.
what you're going to get in those situations. But anyway, I have the Bucks and the Panthers. I have the Bucks -3. I can't believe the Panthers are like still playing for like they could win the division.
Yeah.
It's a terrible division, but they could win. They could win that division.
Yep.
So I got the Bucks -3 there. Then I have unless there's something I'm unaware of with like an injury or something. The Patriots are 2.5-point underdogs to the Ravens. I know the Ravens have Lamar or whatever, but like the Patriots are a top 2 or 3 team in football right now.
Yeah.
So give me the Patriots +2.5 to the Ravens. Then I have the Niners and the Colts, and I have the Niners -6.5. I assume Philip Rivers is still going to keep playing, so I don't know what the yeah I don't know minus 6.5 for the Niners, and then I have the Steelers and the Lions over 51.5, and then I have Cleveland and Buffalo over 42.5.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So I guess for mine, I have the Broncos at -3 over the Jags,
okay.
and that game's in Denver.
I was looking at the game for like 10 minutes and I couldn't decide if I like the Broncos -3 or the Jags +3.
That
Like
was kind
I
of
that game could go either way.
it could, and then the only reason the coin flip for me was that like they're in Denver, so I was just
Yep.
like cold air, all that other stuff.
Yep.
Um, so then I have the Lions over the Steelers at 6.5, -6.5,
Okay.
and I have the Falcons over the Cardinals at -2.5.
All right.
And then for the over-unders, I have Texans Raiders over 37.5. Just because I'm thinking the Raiders can't possibly get shut out back-to-back weeks.
Over 37.5.
Over 37 and a half.
I was looking at that too, and I was like, but their offense does stink.
Yeah, it does.
But the Houston might get there by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible. And I have Ravens Pats under 47.5.
Okay. I don't hate that. That's a good number.
Yeah.
Again, same thing with like the Ravens. You don't know what version of Lamar you're gonna get. Like he could go out and go nuts, or
Yeah.
who knows. But all right. So that moves us on with the Phillies making some major moves, if you want to call them major. Adolis Garcia, 1 year deal. According to Dave Dombrowski, this is pretty much their outfield next year. He's he's a guy that has some pop. He plays a really good defense, corner outfielder. He had a down year last year, only 19 home runs, his career low. It's kind of, so we always talk about like Dave Dombrowski and the bargain bin shopping and finding the cheap option and a guy that has like bounce back potential, and like that's all this move is basically, is what version of Garcia are you gonna get? Are you gonna get the, I don't know that I'm expecting it, but are you gonna get the 39 home runs that you got from him 2 years ago, or are you gonna get, or 3 years ago, or are you gonna get the 19 home run guy that you got last year? Like it's a pretty, other than that, like I'm not looking today on what day is it? December 16th.
Yeah.
This outfield is a mess.
It feels that way, right? Like, and we're kind of like too where um I see like projections, like I saw a projected lineup someone posted today for the Phillies after the Garcia signing, and it doesn't have Castellanos because he's like a foregone conclusion
He's
to not
gone,
be
yeah.
here.
Mhm.
But it's just kind of like he's still here as of like today. Like I know they're like operating, they're making moves because he's not coming back, but it's just kind of like I don't know. It makes it look messy to me because it's like technically he's still with the club. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
um,
but he's gone, right? Like I think we
yeah.
all can
Oh
kind
yeah.
of. But you look at the outfield. It's like it's Garcia, Crawford, and Marsh. Like there's your outfield. Like
Right.
to me, I'm hoping that Crawford can be the guy that we saw last year in AAA, and the guy that we hope or expect him to be. But when you look at that outfield, you're putting a lot of eggs in that basket. Like he has to be that guy, because if he's not, you got major issues.
Right. And I I was kind of wondering too if Garcia being signed and like obviously they're going to move on from Nick, and it's like I was kind of wondering if maybe they kind of circle back to Bader here, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable, I think, like with you could slide Crawford over to left field, which I think he's more, or he's that's his natural position, I think, or his primary position. I think
Mhm.
at one point he can play center and all that, but um, just to have him get acclimated in a position where he's extra comfortable,
Sure.
um, and put Bader back in center and then have Garcia in right. If you were able to do that, I would be a lot happier with in terms of like, you know, Garcia is a legitimately good defensive outfielder. Like he's
Mhm.
the numbers support that. Um, the offense is kind of like, is he a lefty?
He
Oh, he hits right. He's a righty.
he hits right. Yes.
Okay, but even so, like I was gonna say, like you know, you don't have to be like we see it all the time, right? Like at Citizens Bank, you don't have to be like you don't really have to like get a hold of a ball like on a really on a night where there's a like a gust of wind out.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of like um, I don't know enough about his hitting style or preferences yet because I haven't watched them a whole ton other than just looking at these numbers. But um, like I was gonna say, if like you don't have to be like some like real legitimate slugger to like hit them out down the line at Citizens Bank. Like the
Sure. Yep.
down the lines, it's pretty shallow. So um, I think there is a possibility where he can kind of get back up into that 30 home run mark in a ballpark like this, you know, and in a lineup that has some guys that can do it. Um, so yeah, it kind of feels too like where uh, it's 100% a Dombrowski type of move, but it also kind of feels like too, even though I kind of knew that that's what they were going to do. It's like after a while, like don't you want to get the deal, right? Like you don't want to like keep shopping at the discount, down the discount aisle with
Mm-mm.
players. Um, and but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'm just willing to wait and see with Garcia. But I do like the fact that um, he's a strong defensive outfielder. That's definitely a plus for me. Um, because at least you can offer something in that regard where like, you take that everywhere, right? Like you take that
Sure.
like um, that fielding presence, like that kind of like that's somebody who could do that in any park. So
Yeah,
uh,
it's just again like you're talking about like bringing Bader back or whatever. Like you have to have another outfield option. Like I know they're saying that like this is pretty much your outfield, but like obviously you don't have the same three outfielders for 162 games. Like there's some variance and there's there's platoons and you give guys off here or there. Guys get hurt, but like right now, Otto Kemp's their fourth option. Like that's the best fourth option we have in the outfield.
yeah, yeah,
Like
I
that's a
like
lot
Otto
of that's
Kemp too,
a
but
yeah, but like that's a lot of games for Otto Kemp in my opinion. Like I think he's a good bench guy.
no, yeah, I agree, uh, but yeah, it still feels very incomplete, and
Mhm.
that is an interesting part of it. What Don just brought up there about
Yeah, it feels like there's
Stott
another move
Ball.
somewhere. There's Stotterboom. I 100% agree because we all know Aiden Miller's fairly close. Whether he makes it, day one is remains to be seen. Whatever. But Dave Dombrowski was pretty open about like when we bring up Aiden Miller, he's going to be an everyday player. We
Yeah,
don't want him to be a platoon guy. We don't want him getting spot starts here or there. We want him to be an everyday player. Right now, there's no room for him in the infield to be an everyday player.
right.
So I mean, you're going to have to move on from Stott or Bohm or both.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess it would depend on who it was, but like Miller can play either short or second, right? Is that the
Yeah.
census?
Hmm.
Okay.
Dom, don't talk shit about Mitch Call right now. I don't need that right now. I don't need that. The Flyers are up 3-1 to the Canadians. I don't need this Mitch Call mess right now.
He did have an assist tonight.
He did have an assist,
Yeah.
yes. Put him with people that aren't Sean Couturier, and he'll be fine.
Uh, yeah. So I guess like if he's a middle infield guy, like I who like if you end up moving like Baum for example, like are you does Turner move to third? Is that the
I think I'd move him to second before I moved him to third.
who would play third? Like if they were to trade Baum,
Oh, they would trade Bohm?
yeah.
Miller if he's ready.
Okay, so he can play anywhere on that side of the
Yeah. Yep.
diamond, right? Okay. See, I wasn't really all that familiar
Yeah.
with that. Like,
Yeah. I think you play. Yeah. Yep.
okay, yeah,
Third and short specifically, I think, are his two that he's been playing.
okay, yeah,
So.
yeah. But it definitely feels like there's something else coming down.
Yep. You got to do. I mean, there's got to be
Something
something.
else.
Because right now, again, a lot off season left, but like right now, I'm not impressed with their lineup like at all.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also still the JT wrinkle in that,
Mhm.
like where, it was like what a week ago we heard that he has an offer on the table from the Phillies, the Real Muto, and but it kind of sounds like it's like, I guess it's not really about money. It's so much about the years, right? Like I think that's what has been out there. Like he's looking for an extra year or two. I think on
Yeah,
the deal.
and listen, obviously JT, and we've talked about it, isn't the player he used to be 3-4 years ago. Like I get that, but catching such a hard position to find offense that like if they don't sign him, they're fucked at the catcher position. Like
Yeah,
who else is there? Like are we going into a season with Marshawn and Stubbs? Like that's awful, in my opinion. Terrible.
yeah. I've kind of I have a different perspective on this. Like I feel like you know it's like I think with Real Muto, it's like yeah. First of all, I think they're probably less comfortable with it because they already went um, the 2 extra years for Schwarber with the money. So
A lot of
they're
money.
probably less. What was that?
Say a lot of money, a lot of years. Yep.
Yeah, and I think you're probably less comfortable going with like if Real Muto's like a real stickler for an extra year or two. You're probably less comfortable with that, especially after doing the Schwarber deal. But yeah, like I mean, it kind of just seems like we just said about Garcia and like Dombrowski kind of being this guy that likes to shop in the for discounts. I could totally see a scenario where they can kind of get some production from somewhere from some of these guys that are out there um, and get it for like half the price. You know,
Yeah.
um, maybe not defensively, maybe not in terms of like calling a game, but at least offensively, you would get. You know what
What
I
are
mean?
your thoughts on Adley Rushman?
I mean, if they could swing that,
But it's
uh,
what he give up? Like what
right?
would they want? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Are they going to ask for a Miller or Crawford? Like,
yeah. And I, you know what? Too, it's like I know Rushman's name's been out there and all, but the Orioles just brought in Alonso and all, and they're
hmm
making like big commitments there. I really don't see why like they would want to move like with the appetite to move Rushman, provided it wasn't like a complete, you know. Haul.
I think the thought process, and I can't remember who's behind him, but I think they have a young catching prospect that's like ready.
There's another
I
okay,
think I believe so.
yeah. And I feel like too, like I feel like they've been waiting for um I feel like they felt like they were waiting for Rushman for a long time.
Yeah, they
And
were.
next thing you know, like, they're moving on. But see, like there's all the more reason, right? Like there's somebody who's like currently I think for my money is probably the best at his best hitting catcher at this point, I would imagine, right? It would probably be Rushman
Mhm.
in the league. So um and the Orioles could be moving on from him. So uh yeah, like I was looking at it the other day with the catchers, the free agent guys that are left, and you know when you consider when I when you consider what guys are going to get paid and things like that, like I could totally see them going and getting somebody and kind of splitting time where like someone's they get a catcher that can hit, maybe has some power, and then like he splits time with Marshawn, and Marshawn gives you the defense, and you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
you kind of like try to moneyball it that way. Um,
Yeah, so the Orioles' top prospect right now is Samuel Basaya, 21-year-old catching prospect, but he's their number one guy. So I guess he played a handful of games last year, wasn't very good, 165 average. But I guess the thought process is maybe he's ready and they'll kind of give him the reins.
Got it.
But a lot of eggs to put in that basket too. So I don't know if Rushman's he maybe save the Rushman trade for another year or two.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the pitching is going to be good next season. Like I think we kind of know what to expect. Who knows? I mean, I guess at this point I don't really expect them to sign Ranger. I don't think, but like I think the pitching is going to be good enough. I'm not in love with the offense.
yeah, yeah. I think that's fair at this point. I mean, it does feel incomplete, like you said. The outfield's kind of a mess, and they have, we'll continue to follow the JT thing, but for everybody else, it's kind of set.
Yeah,
So we'll have to wait and see. But um, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of I'm kind of in on the Garcia move. Um, the 1 year deal is like the whole like prove it deal. Um, like I'm surprised they didn't give him like an extra year or something, like just to in the event that um, if he were to like for long term planning, if he were
mm,
to like really go off this year and really kind of rehab, like bounce back, you know, um, then it becomes like a matter of like having you're in the same boat where like you're trying to having conversations about extensions and big numbers and things like that. And I maybe they don't have an appetite to do that at this point, and they're gonna wait for you
well,
know
if you're him, I don't know that I would do that either. Like you just had probably the worst year of your career. Like I don't know if I'm him, I want to go somewhere, prove that I can do it, and then sign some big contract. Not that he's getting like a
yeah
super big contract because he's 32 years old. Right next year he'll be 33. Like he's not going to get some sort of crazy contract anyway.
right.
But like it's the bet on yourself kind of deal for him.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah,
In
that's
in a pla- in a hitter's park as well. Like Texas doesn't play in a hitter. Like it's a pretty pitcher friendly
uh,
park. So
yeah,
go to Philly in a hitter park, and maybe that 19 home runs can turn into 30, 35
yeah,
again. So
yeah, yeah. That's definitely possible. That makes sense. So
yeah. So all right. I got nothing else on the Phillies. Um, Don's chiming in. TK with an empty netter to seal it for the Flyers. He just spoiled. I think my thing's a little delayed. I think Don spoiled it for me. Oh, there it is. Just happened.
yeah,
All right. But yeah, no, listen, the Flyers play well, and it's nice to stick it to Montreal, who was like booing Mishkov every time he touched the puck because their
yeah,
fans are upset that they didn't grab him. And then so Ristolainen returned to the lineup tonight. I thought he played pretty well. He was banging the body real good. He was getting in there. I thought he had a pretty good game back for not playing in. I think they said like 200 days or 250 days. Like it's been a long ass time since we've seen Ristolainen. I think he looked pretty solid.
he did. I agree with that. He definitely looked for his first game back. Looked pretty good. That hit he threw
Yep.
on Saflowski, I guess. I think it was Saflowski. And great hit, clean, you know, and he was effective in this game tonight, and a regulation win for the Flyers, which there hasn't been enough of those, right? So
Yep.
that's big, and yeah, I was happy with that. Zegras kept it going. Michkov picked up a point, so it was a good night. It was a good night for the Flyers.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They're playing well. Talk's got them playing well.
Yeah,
We'll see what that means for the future of the team. After beyond this year, but it's
yeah,
gonna be awesome to get bounced in the first round of playoffs and get like pick number 19 and do it all again. It'd be
yeah.
awesome.
It's interesting because they have like I think for a lot of people, right? Like this off season, this summer was going to be the summer the Flyers were really going to kind of like kick this in the high gear. Um,
And then
and then
every free agent signed.
yeah, like almost every free agent has re-signed.
Yeah.
Um, but like that's why too. Like I think like we just talked about Dombrowski, right? In the discount shopping and all. I think Briere could kind of take a page out of that book in terms of like kind of similarly to what they did with Zegers, right? Like maybe it's
Well, I was gonna say there's a couple options where they did that, like
yeah,
Zegras, and then Vladar's been amazing for what they signed him for. He's
sure.
been well beyond expectations.
Yeah, he's given them really, really good above average goaltending this year. And when it was so painfully below average the last couple years, that's been a welcome sight. But yeah, like you're right, he has done it a couple times, and I think like they're gonna probably have to do that again uh, to find some of these upgrades that they're gonna need, whether it's on you know another defender or it's going to be um, another top six forward, preferably a centerman, because the Flyers definitely need centerman, and hopefully, if you're going to if you're going to like pick up the centerman, it be somebody that is a deviation from what they have currently. I know the Flyers really seem to love more now than I think they ever have. Like you look, there's no variety in terms of like play style and the centerman that they have currently.
Mhm.
Dvorak, Cates, Couturier, they're all kind of like different versions of the same player.
Yep.
And the Flyers really need to add some like they need a top six centerman, but they also need like a guy that has some skills. Like
That's why I wish they actually like tried the Zegers at center thing. Like I
yeah,
would like to see it a little more than just like training camp and a couple of games. Like I like to see it. It actually at least give it a chance to work. But
yeah, and we may still see it, but
yeah,
right now, I mean, he's playing with Christian Dvorak and Travis Konechny, and they're the Flyers' best line. So they're not really going to move him off, the best line. So it kind of it's just how it kind of worked out. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely be that would be the first thing I would look towards it, in the event that like you have to break things up and spread it out or whatever, like like you have to do sometimes throughout the course of a season. My next play, I think, as the coach, if I were talking, would be to put Zegers back at center and try that because they really need
yeah,
some offensive skills. They need some guys with some offensive skill down the middle
yeah,
of the ice.
yeah. I'm looking at like pending free agents next year,
Yeah,
and the list of centers is not. There's no good center like at all.
yeah,
Like this is the best centers on this list are like Kevin Hayes, Anders Lee, and Anze Kopitar, which he's retiring obviously. Evgeny Malkin, who he's probably going to retire. Nick Schmaltz, like these are the guys available centers.
yeah. That's not.
Although I'm looking at defense, Kel McCarr hasn't signed an extension yet. Why have
Well,
I not heard more about this? That he's a pending free agent.
if he hasn't, he's probably an RFA still, right?
It says UFA
I don't.
on
I
this
don't know.
on Spotrac. He's listed as a UFA.
I'm looking it up.
Artemi Panarin is available. I'll
Another
be a
wing.
free agent. Yep, a winger. Yep. Ovechkin, but he's more than likely gone, I would think. Jason Roberts. Oh, Robertson's an RFA. So
Yeah, he is.
it, it says
Makar
Kel
is a
McCarr,
UFA.
UFA.
What the hell?
Like we heard so much about like all the big free agents, and for some reason I didn't really hear McCarr's name, but like that's a massive one.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, like he hasn't really been mentioned at all.
Right. Like, you've heard, obviously McDavid and like, but nobody really brings up McCarr's name. He's a pending free agent. That's kind of crazy.
Huh? I didn't realize that. But yeah, they're probably gonna have to get creative again in trades and
Wait a second. Hold on. This might be the year after. Why is Split Track wrong? I think it might be wrong because I just
oh really?
Googled it again and it said it's through 2027.
Maybe I read it wrong.
No, 2020. Never mind. I don't know what's going on. He's got one more year left. Never mind.
Yeah,
That
he's got
list
to
for
get another
some reason
year
was wrong.
left.
Yeah, that list I was
27.
reading somehow was wrong.
Well, I missed it too because I'm looking at a
Yeah.
different site and
Yeah,
uh,
nah. For some reason, the list I had a list of free agents next year, and for some reason, he was on that list. I don't understand why he was on that list, but he was on that list.
yeah, they'll probably get that done this summer.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have to get creative again for the Flyers, and we'll see what how they do that. But I think that's also why too we're hearing like there's like early rumors about there being like interest in both from both parties for Christian Dvorak to get an extension in Philly. I mean, like, and which I'm
I'm
not
out.
opposed to if
I'm
it's
out on
not.
Christian Dvorak. I'm out.
It can't be longer than it can't be longer than 3 years at the most.
Like I've said this before, like Christian Dvorak is fine in his role and like what he is. I just think he's incredibly overused.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's playing up and down. Like I think he's like a third line winger at best. Like
yeah,
best.
and I
I
think
guess a center winger, but like third liner at best.
yeah,
I don't ever want him touching my top six ever.
yeah, yeah. He's one of those players. I think like his values in that like versatility, like the center, playing center can play wing. Um, so I think though like there being such a like dearth of options is why and uh, you have no choice, right? Like this goes for any sport, but like you have to be proactive in terms of like how you're going to build your roster. Like you can't sports where things change too often. You know what I mean? Like we heard just because we're talking about the Flyers and the NHL, like um, we heard about Quinn Hughes and all that stuff going on with him in Vancouver and the deal, and wants to play with his brothers in New Jersey. Is there a fit in Philly with Talk? Because him and Talk get along so well. Minnesota made that trade, and they have
Mhm.
no assurances that he's going to be back next year.
Yep.
But they went for it, and they have some real elite talent. They have some of the best young goaltending in the league. Um, they have Hughes, Brock Faver, Caprill, Kaprizov. Like there's some like real good players in Minnesota. They have some holes, but their top players are elite players.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I it's people have called them instant cup contenders, and like I get it because you have Kaprizov, you have world class goaltending right now. You add Quinn Hughes, the defensive core is really good. I don't see them winning a goddamn thing with that center core. Have you seen their centers?
yeah, their centers are not
Dreadful.
good. Yeah,
Like Eriksson Ek's a solid player. Other than the Eriksson Ek, their centers are terrible.
yeah, and Harrison X more of like a checking line,
Yeah, like
like, but yeah, like so there you go. Like I mean, like, but I love the aggressiveness and I love the opportunity to
sure.
go and try to do that.
Mm,
And it's always better to have the asset like and turn around and try to convince them all year long, hey, like you need to resign here. Look how close we are. Whatever team success Minnesota has this year is a positive in terms of trying to sell it to Quinn to stay there.
yep.
Um, so um, yeah, like you have to be proactive. So I'm expecting that for the Flyers because like you can't plan that far out and ahead. It think too much changes, you know.
Yep.
And if they really were circling free agency as like an opportunity to like make a big splash, I kind of questioned why that was the big grand plan all along because free agents are re-signing where they are now more it feels like than they ever have been, you
Yep.
know. So free agency isn't like the tool that it used to be. To like you can't use it as like uh, a primary tool to build your roster in the NHL anymore. So
Hmm.
the Flyers are going to have to look in other. They're going to have to, and
Yeah, I
some.
mean, you build through the drafting and develop your players, and for as long as I can remember, the Flyers have never been all that great at developing players.
Yeah, they're pretty good at drafting them. They can definitely find them,
Yeah.
but um, when it comes to like kind of, we've seen a number of times over the years, right? Like where you know, they'll draft a player, he'll be a part of like a trade package later because they were always in win now mode,
Hmm.
and that player goes on and has a quality career elsewhere. But um, the ability to identify the player on draft day hasn't really been a problem, I think, for the Flyers. But trying to putting them in a position to succeed,
Yeah.
uh, it hasn't always been a good thing for the Flyers. So that's going to have to change. But yeah, they are playing well right now. They're doing a nice job, and I think Talkett's done a good job of all things considered to this point too.
Yeah, for the most part. Still disappointed in like Michkov season, but
Yeah, yeah,
who's to blame there? The player or the coach or the front office for I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, there's enough blame to go around. All of the above.
probably. And I don't know that. I still don't think we're being told. We're not getting told the whole thing. Like
Yeah, yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know how much I buy that it's just that he came in the camp out of shape.
Yeah,
Like you know what I mean.
yeah,
I know that he has also admitted that and said like yeah like but I think there was something else to that. I I don't know what it is,
yeah.
but I feel like there's some other things that we haven't heard. Probably we'll never hear
No, definitely not.
about things that went on behind closed doors or that were said or um, whatever because he's looked. I watch him play, and I mean, like in terms of skating and things like that, he looks exactly the same to me.
I actually thought he looked. I thought he had a quick step tonight. I thought he actually looked pretty good. I know Dom was commenting that he was terrible on the power play. I actually thought for the first two periods, I didn't really watch much of the third because we were doing this, but I thought the first two periods, I thought he actually looked pretty quick. I
Yeah,
thought he was skating well. I thought he was playing well. So
yeah, yeah,
you
and
know,
he's played with he played with Bobby Brink and
Noah
Noah
Cates.
Cates tonight.
Yeah,
So, um, maybe that'll be a good fit and help get him going. In terms of like producing points again. Um, so I'm expecting him in the second half to have a strong year, a strong second half, especially with the Olympic break and all
hmm,
that. He'll be fresh and he'll have an opportunity to just kind of like work out and hang out in the area. And, when everybody comes back, he'll be ready. He'll be fresh.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think this year has a chance to be like a legit wake up call for him. Because
yeah,
didn't he say something over the last week or two that like this or next off season he's going to stay in the area and train?
he did say that.
Like I feel
Yeah.
I like that would be big.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and I think too, it's just like he's so young still,
Hmm.
and
Sure.
you know, but I don't think, like you said, that's a good way to put it, Mike, is a wake up call,
Yeah.
and like that you can't, maybe at lower levels you're able to like party all summer and then come and
Right.
skate your
Yeah.
way into shape in the camp and be a dynamic talent, but you're playing in the best league in the world. It doesn't necessarily work like that. So
Yeah, and it happens where like a switch has to be flipped where like You look like a guy like Connor Bedard had a ton of criticism last year in his second season. A
Yeah.
ton of criticism. Wasn't playing particularly well. Wasn't like defensively was really rough. Wasn't putting up the points either. And like this year, he's like a top 5 player in the league. Like
Right.
it's just you turn it on, you figure something out, you train a specific way. Like I don't know if Michkov's going to be a top 5 player in the league next year, but like there's a chance something just clicks and he comes out next year and guns blazing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see him start taking those steps
mhm.
in the second half of this season. But he's the type of player too, like where he starts. Like tonight, he picked up the assist on the Bobby Brink goal.
A little bit of a gift from Fowler, but
Yeah, it was a little bit of a gift, but I was going to say he's the type of player where like he just needs to see it like go in and be a part of it to
sure.
just kind of like get it rolling. He seems like that type of kid, and
He definitely relies on confidence. So when he doesn't have the confidence, things can look really rough for him.
yeah, yeah, and he's got to cut down the penalties, the stick checking, and
Mm.
things like that. He's taken a ton of the. I feel like he took a lot last year too, but
Well, I think that's part of the well, when people say, and I agree with it, that he's not a great skater. He's got choppy stride. It's a lot of the stick penalties are because he's not moving his feet and he can't keep up sometimes, and he feels like the only way to get the puck is by slashing, hooking, like he uses stick way more than he needs to because he just doesn't move his feet that well.
yeah, and he thinks the game and he processes it very very quickly, right?
Mm,
So his like it's harder to be like an elite player when you don't have the skating, but there are elite
mm,
players in the NHL who aren't great skaters,
sure. Yeah.
you know. Um, and I was at the last week I was at the Flyers Golden Knights game. I
Hmm.
covered that game for the website, and perfect example of that was is Mark Stone,
Yep.
and I was watching him all night, and he had the game winner, but even off the puck, and that's always been something he's been known for, is his off the puck ability. I mean, he wasn't the fastest guy out there, but he was certainly one of the best players out there for sure. So,
Yeah,
um,
he's always been incredibly like smart.
yeah, so
Has he won a Selkie or is he just nominated?
he might have just been nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember him winning one.
Yeah, he's probably nominated. But he's a great player. But it's different styles, obviously,
Yeah,
than Michkov. But like, yeah, you don't need to be the fastest. Like, I don't like a guy like Kucherov's not like incredibly fast.
yeah,
He has another gear, but like he's not McDavid. Like, I mean, who is McDavid level fast? But like,
right.
he's not that level fast. Whereas like he settles the puck down, makes a play, and finds the open guy. But and has
Yeah,
a nasty shot. But yeah, I mean, you just hope it all clicks for Michkov.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know if it'll happen this season, next season. Who knows when? But I hope it happens.
yeah, yeah. I would like to see them go. Like if they were going to push for a playoff spot this year. And you mentioned about like the first round pick and picking in the teens and all that.
Mm,
That would mean a lot less to me if they were to be able to push for a playoff spot, but it was like the Michkoffs and the Zegrises carrying them there. Because
sure.
then like, you know what I mean, these are like some of the younger players on the team, and they're contributing to a winning season, so that would be I would be happier with that in terms of I'd be less concerned about the pick knowing that we had young players contributing to
Yeah,
a playoff season. So
definitely, definitely. All right, you got anything else to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
All right,
No.
that pretty much does it. We'll talk Sixers at some point. I'll be honest, I haven't paid attention like at all.
Yeah, PG had a
Um,
nice game in
yeah,
Atlanta on Sunday. They
yeah,
did lose that game, but he was good.
yeah. I gotta brush up on like my Sixers like watching and knowledge because like I don't pay attention to them until like March.
Yeah,
Like, so I gotta brush up on that
yeah,
just for the pod at least.
yeah. I've been following them. Uh, like I've said here and other shows, like the Drunk on Broad shows and stuff. But like it was important for me like this year to watch them early because there was so much stuff that needed to kind of come together, right?
A lot of
Um,
like new young pieces too.
yeah, and all in all, I've been pleasantly surprised with just everything. I mean, like
Yeah.
Maxi, even Embiid and PG's ability to just kind of like fit in. You know, we'll
Mm,
see how long that lasts, but I mean, at least for now, they've been really good about you know doing whatever the team has asked them to do, and that's a really positive thing. You know, especially when you have a bunch of you're bringing in like Edgecombe and
yeah.
Maxi's in a new role now. Like, so I've been happy with that, especially in my viewings of it. They've been entertaining. I've enjoyed the games.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to keep more of an interest in them.
Yeah,
I got to pay attention a little more. Turn on some games. My problem is like I just have hockey on like 24/7. Like that consumes most of my
yeah.
watching this
Watch a
time of
lot of
year.
hockey too, so you're not
Yeah.
alone there.
All right. So, all right, that'll do it this week for Fired Up Sports. Check us out on the website, firedupsports.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Listen every week. We'll see everybody next Tuesday. See you then.